Hello, everyone. We warmly welcome you all to our special program brought to you by Indian Achievers Forum. I am your host, Vatika Singh. Indian Achievers Award is an honor that celebrates the people who went extraordinary to effectuate their aspirations and ideas. In this series, we emphasize not only on the struggles and achievements of the people, but also on the social contributions they made to their native land, India. Before introducing you all to our one such achiever, let's take a look at the small AV.
Indian Achievers Forum is driven by a full-fledged advisory board. The board consists of experienced personalities who have excelled in their respective careers. Together, the forum organizes conferences, events, workshops, exhibitions, trade shows, and B2B initiatives in India as well as abroad. Where there is passion, there is achievement. And where there is achievement, there is Indian Achievers Forum.
As the founder and CEO of BBS, Hamsavardhan Mohan has a knack for capturing the big picture while caring for the details that ensure smooth operations of the company. An expert communicator and leader who delegate challenges and guides others towards achieving company goals, thereby contributing to the profitable success of a company. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Yes. So, before entering into the questions, tell us something about you and your professional role.
Um, I'm from a very mediocre family when I began the business. So we are from a tier two city. It's called Tanjore. It's located in southern part of India, which is more of an art, architecture, and monuments. We since we are from I'm from a very mediocre family. I struggled a lot to get education since the beginning till the end of my colleges. So I would say one of my relative made me study till the college. I was so grateful for that. It is so connected, and it is so imperative for somebody uh, from a childhood to get education. So I feel so important that like a society with such a connective relationship can help us educated across from every standards. So I'm so grateful for my relatives to get me education in that aspect. So I was educated in a very popular school, which is Kamala Subramaniam, a matriculation school, right from my beginning, from my lower kindergarten till my 10th grade. And then the 11th, 12th, we were pushed to a situation where I have to be in a state board, which is well and good. I did it. We're happy about that. I got educated in college as a bachelor's of electrical and electronics engineering. That gives me kind of confident when I went out to search for jobs. So so right from that, the educational background, we having a toughness throughout, and we had successfully completed the college education, and then like started over the career in the year 2007 8. So I believe that like right after the education, within the next 30 or 25 days, I've got a job which is irrelevant to my education, which is completely fine with me, because all we wanted, you know across all these educations and struggles, we wanted to get a job and to run on our own, which is what happened to me as well. like others. So that is when all that began as individually. When you start individually, that is when you actually started, not from where where you're born and what you did and all of that, whatever that we have done between our childhood ages. Uh, did make count, but at the same time, when you really start on your own, is actually you starting your life. So that is a little background on who I am and where I've come from and how did I start in my career.
That's really great, sir. So, moving ahead, I'm really keen to know that what inspired you to, start your own business.
Starting an own business is an accident to me. It's
Mhm.
not something. It is not something that I was so prepared financially and through every supporting channel. But in mind, when you had all the struggle during the education, during all of that, during your childhood, all that you wanted is to be on your own. When your parents was not able to help you on your education or in any aspect of it, they were struggling. They work hard. They really worked hard. But everyone has their own thing, like right after birth. It's not something that your parent has to feed you. It's they work hard and you need what you needed. It's being given to you by somehow or through someone. Oh, so that, something from my childhood, I wanted to be on my own. I want to do something, even I educate my father. I tell my father that why can't I do some this and that, and we talk about it. And during my he listened to me. He hear me out. What really uh, that his son is wanted to tell him, as in from business perspective. Right from the childhood, I was so interested about doing something on my own. I don't know the term business by the time, even when I was talking to my father. Uh, After about 6 to 10 years of my experience working with multiple um, multinational companies, like every time when I give an interview after 10 years, every individual CEOs, directors were asking me, why can't you start a business? I was not prepared for that. I was not so supported by financially. But the only thing that I have in my mind is to keep working for what is given to me. And besides that, as I mentioned, from my childhood, it still keeps popping up. Why can't you do something which like it keeps popping up in my mind. We don't know really what we're gonna do. But all these years prepared me enough on the knowledge that we gathered during the tenure that I worked with multiple companies. So even I can mention this one more point, which is when I joined in a company right after my college education. I remember it's just 3 months tenure with that company. It's an US based company. It is a multinational as well. I thought, why can't I start a company like this? Like that's something very weird to someone with my background. And after 10 years, I cut that there, and then if I see myself after 10 years, uh, I struggled a lot while starting up the business. But I started the business, which pushed me to start a business. Obviously, becoming a consultant. I became a consultant in the year of 2012, 13. Someone from a different place, and I was so connected. I even uh, do a lot of networking, but not intentionally. Wherever I work, I have a better terms with everyone I worked with. So that gives me an opportunity being a consultant for one of the reputed organization in the United States, and they trusted me and they gave me the project to start working on my own. That is when things really started working on, and I would say that is when the actual dream started working. So becoming an entrepreneur is the first place, and that is how I was prepared to get on to place where I can do an experience in entrepreneurship.
So, once again, sir, what drove you to start your business?
The one thing that drove me to start my business is when I was exhausted with what I was doing being a consultant. That is when things really started pushing me to, you know, employ more people. During the year of 2016, I remember I worked for 17 to 18 hours a day. Uh, we we were exhausted so much, and I was giving out some of the projects to outsiders to get things done for me. So we have a good network. There are some two, three businesses that I connected with, and I was giving out projects, and they were becoming close friends. And what my thought is, being a consultant working from home, you know how hard it is. Everybody knows in this world right now how hard it is to work from home. So I felt the same in the year of 2013, I would say. Now, all I wanted is just a space, shared space, where I can just work from there. So as I mentioned, when I exhausted with overloaded projects, 24 hours is not enough. By then, I started hiring two, three people. Even I had do it for the night shift because one in the day, one in the night. I even did cab facilitation because my bike was my first cab that I utilized to drop them during the night after their shift hours. Like for the period of 1 year, series of people worked with me, like 5 to 10 people, but they left. But it's okay. But they wanted to work with companies, reputable. But that's okay. People worked with me, and that is when I actually started employing. And in the year of 2017, I would say that that is when we get a solid project and then hired people to start working with a set of five or six people. During the course of this previous 2016, hiring people, giving them project, that gives me some kind of energy when you really employ people, when you're really paying people, and you really experience something good that is happening through you to the society. That is what really draws me to start a business, to really get onto the business.
So, moving ahead, tell us a bit about your initial projects in this industry.
Initial projects are one of the one of the cardiovascular practice in the Southern California. It's called West Regional. That gives us a project to work on their revenue cycle, because my industry is all about healthcare and its revenue cycle. So we were approached by a big practice to help them increase their outstanding accounts receivable. We were approached with a big project, and they need a set of people to work on. That's the first project that I remember to start with. During the course of that project, I really thought this is overwhelming about, that was something very similar to what I do, but a different vertical of the same. But that gives me so much toughness. We learned a lot. In between, it's so much of struggle. Even I thought, you know, at any cost, I should not give up the project. At any cost, whatever, the 18 hours or 24 hours is not enough for one day. When I need to train both day and night, I can sleep 2 hours during the mornings between 6 to 8 until the person, it was just a 1,800 square foot apartment when we started in 2016. That's the first project, and that gives me so much learnings. And till now, that was the greatest learning that I would say to be in this business.
Indeed, sir. So, we know for a fact that starting anything has never been easy for any one of us. So, what all were the challenges that you had to go through initially when you started?
as everyone says, it's financial. Finance
Hmm.
is the first stage, first thing that we always look at to make sure things are lined up. Things are projected happening in a projected aspect. Uh, in the very beginning, I was not an orthodox businessman. When we got the project, we were getting paid on a timely fashion. What I had agreed to pay to set up my first core team was different than what I paid. I I was agreed to pay less, but when I get the payment, I wanted to keep up the employee expectation, and I always look for a long-term commitment. So what I made, I shared the exact same amount of how like to the employees, to make them happy and motivate them, train them on every aspect of their requirement. You know that is how it started. All it started is about working collaboratively, with more motivational support. That is how we started working, from the beginning.
So, moving ahead, sir, tell us a bit about the product and services of your organization.
So when I say it's a billing company, it does an end-to-end billing operations, right from credentialing till the collection. To explain a bit about what healthcare revenue cycle management is, in the United States, the cost of the services, provider doctor services, is really high. It can only be covered by the insurance companies. So every individual have an insurance. Even a 2 months baby should have an insurance. Between the birth to the 2 months, it has to be covered by the parent. So all that happens through an insurance. So these processes is all through softwares. All that has been documented in the softwares, which requires a software. On the other side, it has the technical side of it, how these services are converted to coding and electronic transmissions, and how we collect it from the insurance. These are all the technical side of it. So it includes credentialing, because any providers, they really doesn't aware of the credentialing side of it when they're during the course of their education, because which is really new to them when they got graduated by from the college. So they really wanted our services, which is credentialing, which is a masterpiece of our billing company, which they liked a lot, which I would say that's a business area where providers, doctors, or group of physicians or hospitals look for our company, our kind of companies, to serve them or support them in getting their credentialings complete. But not just an individual doctor, it requires the credentialing required for the big hospitals, small groups, small, medium, and large scale medical groups require our credentialing services. So it requires credentialing, billing, coding, and revenue cycle management, accounts receivable, denial management, software implementation. We're not a software company, but we do work with hundreds of softwares, and we support, we implement that, we set up a workflow for them, and eventually the collection. So either from a patient or from the insurance, we have several tools to manipulate how much should it be collected from the insurance or from the patient, and that kind of collection should also be a part of our services. So it's a kind of one-stop shop for any medical practice in the United States to work with us. We're privileged to help them in like with so much secured environment. Even the data security is being accomplished in a way the HIPAA compliant is required. So these are all the services that we include as our on the whole, as a company, we serve the United States medical providers and medical groups.
So, what are some of the products you love and why?
Like again, it is credentialing. Credentialing is a masterpiece because I would say across there are thousands of medical billing company like us in India and across the offshore billing companies like us. As I work with about multiple companies, and credentialing is something which none of the company had an exposure to learn or to educate the employees. But to me, I started with credentialing when I was working as a consultant. So I feel, or I strongly suggest, credentialing is a masterpiece. Or credentialing, contracting, medical practice, or individual provider is an important aspect of any billing company, and we are expertise on such a kind of service, and people love it, and our clients really love our uh, credentialing services and our support. And another side of the credentialing is so convoluted. It is not as we think that it's a contract. We work with insurance, we get the contract, we fill out the form, and have all the credential and submit and get this contracted. It's not likewise. It's a very tedious process. Only when you know the nature of how things needs to be obtained and delivered to the insurance company, the appropriate follow-ups, make sure things are in right place, and it is in the right time frame to get this contracted. That is where our expertise stands. So which is why I love credentialing, and is our business key for our company.
So, if you had to describe the culture of your organization in three words, so what would they be?
The first thing is collaborative work environment. I would say collaborative, supportive, and organized. These are the three terms that I would mention. I was not so prepared, but this is what all about it. I was not within the questions, or maybe, but all I would have to say is these: collaborative work culture, supportive, collaborative in the sense like they are teamed up. Any we have hierarchy still. The vice presidents and the directors of the companies till the CEO. We have a greater collaborativeness in working together. And like we are about 200 plus right now, but still every vice president know the individual who get on the job and joined as a trainee, and they know what's going on. So that is how collaborative we are to grow this business to the next level. I would say we're building up a great empire, and in the next like in the next few years, we would have the same setup in every other states in India, and we would help across all the 50 states. That is the way that we are working as collaborative business model. The second thing is supportive. When we have to be collaborative, the employees have to be supportive for every needs, and in that aspect, our team is golden opportunity. They feel a golden opportunity working for Baruch Business Solutions as BBS, and they feel the family in being working with BBS. So they are so supportive, and organized structure is so important. Whenever we work with any company or any project, even for your individual, when you're only organized, when you know what you really have want to do, or when you really know where to start the day, where to end at, and that is exactly how our people are organized. And I wanted to keep up that discipline, uh, on a consistent aspect. We want to check how things are going every now and then. So these are the three terms that I would mention here as as that keeps us growing.
So, how do you deal with conflict?
Oh, that's an everyday process. We know, like everybody has their vision towards their work environment or their career growth. That has to be phased enough. We need to face that conflict. We all I wanted to do on a daily basis is what something different that I need to address. So the everyday conflicts or everywhere, and I wanted to address that as the first thing to make sure that we're all on the same page. We're all on the same vision. The growth is a every individual who started their career with us or with anywhere, their purpose of being there is for growth in any aspect, to grow their career, to grow their revenue, to grow their compensations, to grow their identity. Anything that you name, it's all for their growth. So I would say that the growth is the only thing that keeps us running on a daily basis, and that starts from the conflict. So we wanted to align that in one frame, and we wanted to phase, address, and keep this going.
All right, so first of all, congratulations on winning the Indian Achievers Award. What does it feel like to have won the Indian Achievers Award? I want to know from you.
Thank you for the Indian Achievers Forum for giving me this prestigious award. I would say I'm so grateful for such a prestigious award, which is from an Indian Achievers Forum, which every individual in India would thrive to get for. Any entrepreneurs who would be thriving to get such a prestigious award from Indian IAF, and I feel the same, and I'm so grateful for getting nominated in the first place, and winning the award is just like dream come true term. Now that's how I would keep that in my mind, and that gives me more energy, more motivation, and not just that, it gives me some kind of thoughts that the society is giving us so much from that perspective, to keep entrepreneurs like us moving, even in every if we make money or we don't make money, that's different. When we were identified as an achievers, imagine not everyone is striving to achieve, but when we were nominated, when we were not like awarded with such a prestigious award, which is when it gives us something extra than what you think, and it keeps us running and keeps us moving forward. And I always be grateful for IAF, and I'm so thankful for that.
So, now since we know a lot about your professional role, tell us something about your social contributions also.
The social contribution is nothing but the employment, I would say. On a personal aspect, I don't want to promote what I do as a social contribution, but the social contribution I think is when we were just five people, 10 by in the year 2016. I had never imagined of 200 plus in this organization across in India. We have two, three locations right now. We have exactly two locations. We're working on the third location, and I never thought of having such a big organization. I never thought of I would own or have a greater organization that with 200 plus employees. So, being that said, so this is something that I consider when employing more and more every day or every month when we do the payroll. And I wanted to see how many people newly joined. That is the motivation for me. That is what I considered as a social contribution, And I feel like I thank God for giving me this opportunity to employ, and that is the greatness that has been blessed. I feel blessed to give such a kind of employment in the society.
So, before concluding this session, you know that IF is followed not only by mainstream organizations, but also those young minds who aspire to be like our achievers someday. So, what is that one message you'd like to give them?
Work hard, look forward, talk less, do more. This is just not about the code or something. All I have to tell them briefly about working with work with multiple companies and owning a bigger organization in the society in India, which is awarded by Indian Achievers Forum. I never talked about companies that I worked with. Every company has their own policies and regulations. We should not be a naysayer. We should always be positive enough to see what opportunity that we can obtain and help the organization and keep moving. We should look forward. We should talk very positive about how things can be lined up. All I have to say for the younger generation, for anybody who starts a new business or to wants to start a new business, is try hard. Nothing comes easy. Anything that comes easy cannot remain as is. So work hard. Your hard work definitely pay you back. And most importantly, there's a saying in Tamil. It's called "Poruttar Bhumi Alvar," and it says like it's called in Tamil language. They say "Poruttar Bhumi Alvar." It's like the person who has patience will manage the whole universe. That is how much the energy that they can get being patient. And there's another saying is called, like Porutar Bhumia. Similar to that, there's another term which is not coming up to my mind right now. I should say like patience is everything. To me, growing to this much bigger is because of the patience which has been taught by my ancestors, by my parents, by the society, by my friends and families. Everybody did not like me start a business. They said, no, don't do business, just be where you are and get some money. And you know, even whoever educated me, he said, whatever you make, give it to me. I'll handle your family. I said, there is nothing that I have when I give when I make it and give it to you, and I would not know what exactly how the family should be run, and I want to take up the opportunity to help my family on my own. When somebody took over, or when somebody stop you from what your thoughts process are, just put it aside. And like it doesn't mean that you're disrespecting them. It means that you're respecting your thoughts. It means you're really respecting your thoughts. You really wanted being on your own. It is not an offending aspect. It is helping you to grow faster than what you thought. So just work hard, have patience. Don't listen to any different topics or anything. Let's just focus on what you wanted to do. Give more time to that. Surround your circle with that environment and keep growing.
That I must say is a great piece of advice. Thank you so much for joining with us today. It was a pleasure talking to you, and we hope that you continue to inspire people of all ages forever. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Vatika. Thank you for such a great opportunity here. I would thank Indian Achievers Forum for such a great opportunity to meet and share the ideas, uh, and this motivates me all time and it keeps me growing. Thank you.